In the chaotic digital landscape of 2012, a mystery was born. On the anonymous image board 4chan, a post appeared. It was simple, clean, and cryptic. "Hello, we are looking for highly intelligent individuals." It was signed 3301. This was the world's introduction to Cicada. The first test was a lesson in digital forensics. The image itself was a container, a technique known as steganography. Hidden within its data was a reference to a Caesar cipher. Solvers who knew their Roman history quickly decrypted the text, which led them to a link. But the path wasn't straight. The first link led to a dead end, a decoy designed to filter out those without persistence. The real clue was a book cipher, pointing to an ancient Welsh text, the Mabinogion. This was a new level of complexity, requiring literary knowledge on top of technical skill. The decrypted message from the book revealed a phone number in Texas. Those who called heard a synthesized voice that led them to the next stage, the physical world. The voice gave GPS coordinates for 14 locations around the globe, from Sydney to Seoul, Warsaw to Los Angeles. At each location, a poster was found, bearing the Cicada logo and a QR code. This was no longer just an online game. It was a global scavenger hunt. Those who found the posters and scanned the code were led to a private forum on the Tor network. A final message awaited them. "You have all done well. We have found the individuals we were looking for." And then the page went blank. The first solvers had been chosen. The rest of the world could only wonder, who was behind Cicada, and what did they want with the planet's brightest minds? For a year, the internet waited. The community that had formed around the first puzzle wondered if they would ever hear from Cicada again. Then on January 4th, 2013, a new message appeared. The hunt was back on, and the difficulty had been raised exponentially. This time the puzzle involved an audio track which, when viewed through a spectrogram, revealed a new clue. This led solvers to a Twitter account posting cryptic numbers, which in turn led them to a hidden service on the dark web. There they found the centerpiece of the 2013 puzzle, a book titled Liber Primus. It was written entirely in a runic alphabet. The community worked tirelessly to translate it letter by letter. What they uncovered was not a set of instructions, but a philosophical manifesto. The book contained warnings like, "Believe nothing from this book except what you know to be true." It was filled with ideas about privacy, censorship, and intellectual freedom. It declared that the law of the land is not the law of the mind. Cicada was no longer just testing intelligence, it was testing ideology. This was a search for minds that not only had technical skill, but also aligned with a specific worldview. Yet the book was a puzzle in itself. To this day, only a handful of its pages have been successfully translated. The rest remains one of the internet's greatest unsolved cryptographic challenges. A second small group managed to navigate its secrets and were accepted by Cicada. And just like the first time, they vanished, leaving the world with an even deeper mystery and an uncracked book. Just as the world began to think Cicada 3301 was a one-time event, they returned. On January 4th, 2013, a new image appeared. The mystery was back on. But this time the journey was not outward, across the globe, but inward into the mind of Cicada itself. The initial puzzle led to a haunting audio file titled The Inster Emergence. It was a complex piece of music, but the community quickly realized the music was a container. Hidden within the data was a key, a complete runic alphabet. Cicada had not used an existing language. They had created their own. This was the language solvers had to master to proceed. After weeks of collaborative effort, the runic code was broken. It led them back to the deep web, to another hidden address. There, they found the holy grail of the entire mystery. A book written by Cicada titled the Liber Primus. It was their sacred text, a digital scripture written entirely in their runic language. This was not a scavenger hunt. It was a philosophical test. The few pages solvers managed to translate were not clues, but commandments. A manifesto about intelligence, self-divinity, and the rejection of dogma. Cicada wasn't just recruiting the skilled. They were recruiting believers. To this day, the vast majority of the Liber Primus remains undeciphered, a permanent, impenetrable monument to the group's true purpose. In 2014, Cicada returned for a third time. The puzzle was as brilliant and demanding as ever, but it led solvers to a familiar dead end, the still undeciphered Liber Primus. A third group of individuals supposedly solved the puzzle and were accepted into the fold. Then in 2015, January 4th came and went with silence. And again in 2016, the annual tradition was broken. Aside from a final, PGP-signed message confirming the end of the hunt, Cicada 3301 vanished, leaving behind a legacy of speculation. The mystery of the puzzle was replaced by the mystery of its purpose. So who were they? The most popular theory points to a government intelligence agency. Was this a covert, highly effective recruitment program for the NSA or MI6, designed to find the world's most talented cryptographers who exist outside of traditional channels? Or was it the opposite, a group of crypto-anarchists, digital privacy advocates fighting against the very surveillance state those agencies represent? The philosophy in the Liber Primus, with its focus on intellectual freedom and privacy, strongly supports this idea. They weren't hiring spies, they were building a movement. A third theory suggests something more esoteric, a modern-day secret society or cult. Was Cicada searching for initiates, not members, disciples to be entrusted with a hidden philosophy, using the puzzles as a spiritual and intellectual filter? Today, the puzzles are silent. The solvers have never broken their secrecy. The Liber Primus remains almost entirely untranslated. Cicada 3301 became more than a game, it became a myth. It stands as a testament to the power of mystery in a world of information, and a reminder that the deepest secrets are not always hidden behind firewalls, but sometimes right in plain sight. Narrator. Perhaps the greatest mystery of Cicada 3301 isn't the puzzles, it's the people who solved them. After passing the final test, each group of winners simply disappeared. Helios, voice distorted. We were all in it together in the forums on the IRC channels until the very end. Then they passed through the final gate, and they went silent, all of them. There was talk of NDAs, of a promise they had to make. They didn't just win a game, they joined something, and left the rest of us behind. Narrator. The organization's identity was crafted with the same precision as their puzzles. Even the name itself is a clue. Dr. Eris Thorne, in his office, it's poetically brilliant. The Cicada's life cycle is based on prime numbers. 3301 is a prime number. From the very name, they are signaling that this is about cryptography at a fundamental level. But the puzzles, they weren't just hard, they were elegant. They blended high-tech steganography with classical literature, physical scavenger hunts with deep web exploration. This wasn't a script kiddie, this was a master, or a team of them. Narrator. After 2014, the masters went silent. The annual tradition was broken, leaving a void that the community rushed to fill with hope and then with confusion. Dr. Lena Petrova, in her studio. What you saw was the birth of a digital tribe. They had a shared quest, a shared language. When Cicada disappeared, the tribe lost its center of gravity. That's when the imposters appeared. People wanted the mystery to continue so badly that they were willing to follow false paths. The 2016 warning from the real Cicada was fascinating. It was like a shepherd protecting their flock even after abandoning them. Marcus Cole in the newsroom. Every year for a while, a new leak or puzzle would pop up. Every single one was a hoax. It became a bit of a joke, honestly. It's easy to see it as this grand mystery, but it could just as easily be an elaborate game that got too big, and the creators simply walked away. Narrator. But the fragments we have of their own words from the Liber Primus suggest a purpose far beyond a simple game. They called themselves a group sharing a belief in advancing liberty, privacy, and security. Marcus Cole, it's a noble goal. It's also the banner that every hacktivist group, cryptocurrency founder, and digital anarchist waves. It's a powerful idea, but it doesn't automatically make them a force for good. We still have no idea what advancing liberty meant to them. Dr. Eris Thorne. Whether they were building a new privacy tool or simply gathering the world's best minds for a think tank, we may never know. Helios, I still check every January 4th. Just in case, narrator. Today, Cicada 3301 is a modern myth, a ghost in the machine, a testament to a time when a group of anonymous individuals captured the world's imagination, not with a product, but with a question. Their ultimate goal, and whether they ever achieved it, remains the internet's most compelling secret. To truly understand Cicada 3301, you must remember when it was born. The year was 2012. The world was waking up to the reality of mass surveillance. Names like Snowden and Prism were not yet public, but the anxiety was building in the digital underground. It was an era of cypherpunks, of a growing war between total privacy and total observation, and out of that tension the Cicada emerged. It wasn't just a puzzle, it was a political statement, a product of its time. The genius of its architecture was breathtaking. This was not merely code-breaking. To follow the trail, you needed to be a historian, a musician, a poet, and a philosopher. One clue was hidden in a medieval Welsh poem, another in a quote from cyberpunk author William Gibson that led to a dark web address. They embedded data in sound, art, and ancient texts. The few translated pages of their holy book, the Liber Primus, didn't speak of technology, but of rejecting dogma and finding divinity within the self. They weren't just looking for programmers, they were looking for Renaissance thinkers who shared their worldview. But this intense competition had a dark side. The global race created a culture of paranoia. Solvers, once collaborators, began to suspect each other. They hoarded clues, spread misinformation, and accused rivals of being government agents trying to infiltrate the group. Lives were disrupted, people were doxxed, their private information thrown online as a weapon. The hunt for enlightenment had created its own darkness. So what is the legacy of Cicada 3301? It was a mirror, reflecting both the genius and the paranoia of our digital age. A test so brilliant it may have proven that any quest for a perfect secret society is destined to be corrupted by the simple, imperfect humans who try to join it.